Dynasty star Phil Robertson has passed away at the age of 79, just months after his battle with Alzheimer's disease was revealed to the public. His family broke the news of his death Sunday in an Instagram post, writing, quote, "We celebrate today that our father, husband, and great-grandfather, Phil Robertson, is now with the Lord." Going on to say, quote, "We are grateful for his life on earth and will continue the legacy of love for God and love for others until we see him again."
Okay, so let's get straight to the news itself then. People confirms Phil Robertson passed away. He was 79. The family announced it on Sunday, May 25th. It was all over social media pretty quickly.
It was, and the way they handled it is quite telling, I think. You had Jace Robertson posting on X talking about his dad being with the Lord, very faith-focused. And then Sadie Robertson Huff on Instagram. That was more visual, right?
Yeah.
Family photos, very personal, emotional.
Yeah, I saw that. And Willie and Corey, they did a joint post too, thanking people for prayers, mentioning a private service, but also, interestingly, a public celebration to come.
That really stood out to me too. It highlights that community connection they built. It always felt like more than just a TV show for a lot of viewers, didn't it? Like something shared.
Definitely.
And it suggests they're trying to balance, their private grief with acknowledging the huge public interest. That planned public event says a lot about how they view his legacy, his wider impact.
And the People article states the cause of death was complications from Alzheimer's disease. Now, this wasn't a total shock because the family had shared his diagnosis publicly. That was back in December.
Exactly. That context is important. They were open about his health struggles, which maybe prepared people a little. And it certainly humanized him, took him beyond just the TV persona,
Yeah, that initial announcement, that was December 6th, right? On their podcast, Unashamed with the Robertson family.
That's the one. Jace mentioned that it was, I think he said, early stages.
But things seemed to change quite fast after that.
They did. Jace gave an update in April saying the Alzheimer's had, quote, accelerated. He said it was causing problems with his whole body, basically.
Wow.
Yeah, and he described his dad as not good and said the family was just focused on making him comfortable. It paints a really difficult picture, the reality of that disease.
It really does. So maybe for listeners who weren't huge fans or maybe missed the phenomenon, can you just give us the quick rundown? What was Duck Dynasty?
Sure. So Duck Dynasty aired on A&E, ran for quite a while, actually. It basically followed the Robertson family in Louisiana and their business, Duck Commander, which makes duck calls.
Right.
But what really clicked, I think, was the mix of humor from their everyday lives, the really strong family bonds you saw. And they were very open about their Southern roots, their Christian faith. It felt different from other reality TV, maybe.
And it was a big cast, wasn't it? Not just Phil. You had his wife, Kay, the sons, Jace, Willie, Jep, and then grandkids, employees, a whole crew.
Oh, absolutely. A real ensemble. That sprawling, kind of funny family dynamic was key.
11 seasons is a long time. It ended in 2017.
That's right. But the story didn't really stop there, did it? There are all those spin-offs going. Sial, Jep and Jessica, At Home with the Robertsons, Duck Family Treasure.
Wow, yeah.
It just shows there was this continued appetite for the family, their brand.
Okay, but here's something really interesting the People article points out. Duck Dynasty is apparently coming back. Duck Dynasty, the revival, supposedly this summer on A&E.
Whoa, okay. That changes things, doesn't it? That revival must have been in the works before. Well, before his health declined so much publicly.
You'd think so.
So now they'll almost certainly have to address his passing. It kind of reshapes the whole premise, potentially.
Yeah, how do they handle that? How does it shift the focus? Big questions for the show.
Definitely. It'll be interesting to see how they navigate that, honoring his legacy within this revived format.
So let's rewind a bit then. Go back to the roots. Duck Commander, where did that all start?
Duck Commander, yeah. That was Phil's baby. He founded it way back 1972. He was the founder, the president, the driving force. And it all started with his invention, right? That patented duck call design.
The call, right?
That was the foundation. His passion for duck hunting turned into this huge business.
And the article mentions his personal life too, marrying Kay when they were very young, 17, after she became pregnant with their first son. It paints a picture of family being central from the absolute start.
It really does. Very deeply intertwined. And maybe that's part of why the show resonated. Perhaps it tapped into something, a desire to see strong families, maybe a simpler way of life, even if it was, reality TV.
Could be.
For a lot of people watching, the Robertsons maybe represented certain values, tradition that felt, authentic to them.
Yeah, it absolutely became a cultural touchstone, sparked so many conversations. about faith, family, that specific slice of America. And maybe for you listening, it's worth thinking about your own reaction to the show back then. What did it mean to you, if anything?
It does make you think more broadly, doesn't it? About the power of these family stories in the media. Why do we get so invested in watching these dynamics play out on screen?
So wrapping up this deep dive, we've covered the sad news of Phil Robertson's passing at 79. We looked at his battle with Alzheimer's, which the family shared quite openly.
Yeah, and the huge legacy of Duck Dynasty, plus where it all began with Duck Commander.
A really remarkable journey, however you look at it.
Absolutely. And in stepping back, it really makes you ponder, doesn't it? The role these family narratives, these big personalities play in pop culture. What is it that makes some stories, some families, connect so deeply? And maybe, how does all this media shape how we think about family, about legacy? Definitely something to chew on.